What do you got in the box?
It's a cake, sir, for my grandma's birthday.
Let me see it. Step back. Set it down.
Do I? I swear.
Put it down. Now.
Yo, it's just a cake, man.
You dropped it. Riley?
I waited all week for this.
Stay where you are. Hands where I can see them.
They stopped a black kid in the cold. A birthday cake in his hands. They said he stole it. They made him drop to his knees in the dirty snow, while the box smashed open beside his shoes. Chocolate frosting everywhere. People watching. Phones recording. He kept saying, "It's my grandma. It's her birthday." But nobody listened. Not yet. Because what they didn't know is that this boy wasn't just a kid with a cake. He was someone the whole city would soon know. And after tonight, an entire police department would never be the same again. Before we go deeper, make sure you're subscribed for more powerful, true-to-life stories like this. And drop a comment telling us, where are you watching from right now? Okay, let's begin. Stop right there. Officer Todd Renshaw's voice ricocheted across North 35th Street, sharp like breaking glass. His flashlight beam stabbed through the dark, landing on a 17-year-old black kid walking fast, hugging a white bakery box to his chest. The winter wind slapped Milwaukee across the face that night. Sidewalks were slick. Streetlights flickered like old nerves. Riley Carter froze. His voice cracked. I'm just going home. Renshaw stepped closer, hand already on his holster. I said stop. Harder. Colder. There were people at the bus stop 10 yards away. Phones raised. No one moving to help. Riley swallowed. He didn't reach into pockets. Didn't move wrong. He just lifted the box an inch. "It's a cake," he whispered. But the officer's face twisted, like the word itself was a lie. Riley Carter, 17. Skin the shade of mocha his grandma always said was royal. Quiet eyes. Honor student. Dreamed of being a pilot. He wore a too-thin coat from Goodwill. Gloves with fraying fingertips. Shoes he'd already grown out of in the toes. Inside that cardboard box, a chocolate cake with pink icing roses. "Happy birthday, Granny," May written in neat loops. His grandma raised him alone. Tonight, she turned 72. Riley saved every spare dollar from after-school shifts at Burgers and Bites to buy that cake. He wanted her to taste something sweet, even if they couldn't afford candles. He didn't look dangerous. He didn't act dangerous. He was just trying to make it home before the frosting melted. But being black in the wrong place was enough. Officer Renshaw circled him like Riley was a wild animal. "Where'd you steal it from?" "I didn't steal anything," Riley said. Renshaw flicked the box with 2 fingers. The mark of disbelief. "Sure, a kid like you walking with something nice? Doesn't add up." Every word cut. Not loud, but sharp. Riley felt heat burning up his chest, shame and fear mixing. "I bought it." "With what?" "Food stamps." Renshaw smirked. A man at the bus stop winced. A woman shook her head. But the phone stayed up. Everyone was scared to step forward. Renshaw's radio crackled, but he ignored it, his eyes fixed on Riley like a target. "Put the box down and step back." Riley hesitated, looked around, pleading silently for someone to protect him. No one did. His hands trembled as he lowered the cake onto the cold concrete. "Step back," Renshaw barked. Riley took one step, and his heels slipped on the icy pavement. His foot hit the box. Crunch. Pink frosting burst out the side. Chocolate smashed. A swirl of sweetness destroyed in the dark. Riley gasped, like he'd just watched a piece of his heart break open. "My grandma." His voice cracked. "Please." Renshaw grabbed his shoulder and shoved him toward the wall. "Hands behind your back. Now." "WY? What did I do?" "You match a suspect description." A classic line. One Riley heard on YouTube videos too many times. Never thought he'd hear it pointed at him. His knees hit the cement. The cake, his love, lay ruined. A car rolled up across the street. Teenage girl in the passenger seat, filming with wide, angry eyes. A city bus stopped, doors open, people staring. Renshaw forced Riley's chest to the ground. His cheek pressed into dirty ice. "Stay down." Riley didn't fight, didn't argue, didn't even breathe too fast. He just whispered, "I didn't do anything." He remembered his grandma's voice earlier that day. "Don't be late, baby, but don't you rush. Rushing makes people see you wrong." He tried to walk calm. He tried to walk slow. He tried to do everything right. But right wasn't enough tonight. The bus stop crowd murmured. "Let the boy up," someone said softly. "Call his parents," another whispered. "Man, this is messed up," a teenager muttered into his phone's microphone. Renshaw pulled Riley's wallet out without asking and flipped through it. "Riley Carter." He held up the student ID. "A scholar." He said like a joke. "You go to Washington High?" "Figures." Riley kept his forehead on the ground, eyes squeezed shut. "It's my grandma's birthday," he whispered again. "I just wanted to bring her a cake." Renshaw rolled his eyes. "Save it for the judge." He wasn't listening. He didn't want to. A slim figure stepped forward, a boy wearing an orange hoodie, camera steady in both hands. His voice shook, but he spoke loud. "He didn't do anything. I've been behind him since the crosswalk. He just bought that cake at Mitchell's Bakery." Renshaw's head snapped up. "You interfering?" "No, sir. I'm witnessing." Phones lifted around the bus stop in solidarity. Clicks. Red lights. Recording symbols glowing like small rebellions. The officer suddenly realized he wasn't alone, and everything was being documented. "You think that camera means anything?" Renshaw hissed, but his hand shook. He pressed Riley harder into the ground, trying to keep control, and failing. Riley's breath rasped. The officer shouted into his radio. "Possible theft suspect. Non-compliant. Backup needed." Non-compliant? Riley hadn't moved. This was the lie that could break someone's life. The kind that never disappears from a record. "That's abuse. Get off the kid. He's just a baby. Why can't you just ask questions first?" Voices rose, brave now with numbers. Renshaw's face tightened. Cornered pride. He hated being questioned. His chest puffed. His ego roared. He grabbed for cuffs. Riley whimpered as cold steel bit his wrist. Then, "Freeze. Don't touch that child." Another voice. Commanding. "Close." Officer Renshaw turned. A woman strode forward, trench coat flapping, badge shining from a lanyard against her chest. Short coils of hair, brown skin like Riley's, eyes sharp as truth. Her tone was pure authority. "I'm Deputy Chief Sandra Knox. Let the boy go. Now." Gasps. Even the bus driver leaned out the door. Renshaw blinked. "Mimam, E. You ignore dispatch calls for the last 4 minutes. A real crime is happening across town. Yet here you are, terrorizing a minor with a birthday cake." Her voice didn't rise. It didn't need to. Every bystander stepped closer. Phones pointed like spotlights. Riley, still on the ground, stared, hope flickering. Knox knelt beside him gently. "You hurt?" she asked. "No, I'm just scared." He swallowed. "And the cake?" She looked at the ruined box, and something in her jaw clenched. "Officer Renshaw," she said softly, "uncuff him." Slowly, the officer's hands twitched. He was sweating now. You thought wrong." Sharp. Final. The cuffs clicked open. Riley sat up slowly, like his bones were ice. Knox placed herself between him and the officer, like a shield. "You will stand over there and wait for internal affairs to arrive," she ordered Renshaw. "You do not speak. You do not move toward this boy again." Renshaw opened his mouth, but one look at her face shut it. The crowd erupted. "That's right. Justice. You better get fired. About time." Phones caught every moment. Riley hugged his arms around himself, shivering, the cold sinking deeper now that fear loosened its grip. His heart pounded hard enough to hurt. Deputy Chief Knox lifted the smash box, careful like it still mattered. "Who's the cake for?" she asked. "My grandma," Riley said. "She's turning 72 tonight." Knox's eyes softened. "My mother is 72, she whispered. "Go home. Celebrate her. We'll handle this." Riley nodded, tears clinging to his lashes. He stood, slow and shaky. The crowd cheered like he'd survived something huge. Which he did. Renshaw stepped forward, voice cracking. "Ma'am, he matches a report." "No report exists," Knox said. "We checked. You invented suspicion out of prejudice." The word landed like a hammer. Prejudice. There was no escape from that truth. "You have body cam footage?" a woman shouted. Renshaw hesitated. The crowd roared louder. Because hesitation meant yes, or worse, he turned it off. Knox noticed the cameras. She didn't hide her disgust. "This department is supposed to protect our children," she declared. And tonight we failed. People nodded. Some cried quietly. Riley wiped his face with his sleeve. He looked up at the broken cake. All those hours of work ruined. But he was alive. He was free. That mattered more. Deputy Chief Knox guided Riley toward her unmarked car. Come on, I'll get you home safe. Riley looked back at the crowd, at the strangers who recorded, who stood up, who refused to let him disappear into fear. Someone called out, "What's your name, kid?" He turned, voice small but clear. Riley. Riley Carter. His name echoed through phones, into live streams, across feeds, into hearts. The world would remember. Internal Affairs arrived. 2 investigators, stern and quiet. They pulled Renshaw aside, questioning him under the same flickering streetlight he used to shame Riley. The cameras didn't turn away. Tonight, accountability had an audience. Warm air wrapped Riley's frozen fingers in the passenger seat. Knox glanced at him gently. Where's home? He told her, just 5 blocks away. They drove slow. Streetlights slipped past like passing thoughts. Riley stared at the cake box in his lap. Squished, frosting smeared across cardboard. Knox sighed. We'll fix it, she said. We'll make tonight right. He forced a tiny smile. Thank you for coming. She shook her head. Thank the people who refused to look away. As they turned onto Riley Street, they saw flashing lights. Police cars lined the block. Neighborhood people stood outside. Faces worried. Phones out again. Riley's grandma, Granny May, was at the front door in a robe, hand pressed to her heart. A reporter was already interviewing neighbors. Sources confirm this may involve a wrongful stop recorded by multiple witnesses. The victim is said to be a local honor student. Riley froze. His name was spreading. His story was growing fast. This wasn't over. It was only beginning. Knox gave him a look, a serious one. Riley, she said softly, you need to prepare yourself. For what? He whispered. Knox stared at the cameras gathering, all aimed at him. For the whole city to know who you are. If you want to see what happens next, how Riley's story explodes into the public eye, how the truth changes everything, and how justice finally arrives. Make sure you're subscribed. Comment Justice for Riley if you're ready for Chapter 2. And tell us, what would you have done if you were there that night?